On one of your tapes, you talk about...
You've been around a long time. Listen to you on the 8-track, Abraham.
Well, I call it a tape. It was a DVD, a USB. Something yet to be invented. You talk about this lady who has a friend who complains about everything, blah, 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 but she said, you say something along the lines, but she's healthier than me and she's always complaining and, she's always saying negative things. And you said you can't judge somebody from where you are.
That's the most important thing to understand.
On that?
Your perspective is uniquely your own. And your perspective of others is magnificently skewed at best. At best. And so if we were standing in your physical shoes and we were looking at others in a comparative way, we would be looking for evidence of the well-being that they are spewing and using them as our reason to activate that well-being in ourselves. In other words, the comparison that puts you down, the comparison that says you are succeeding while I am not, is a practiced vibration that will keep you from the success that you want. So the most recent process that we've been offering is to go general. So let's say that you were in a situation where you were watching someone else living abundance and a wonderful life, and they were living things that you wanted while you weren't living them, and you were feeling that jealousy, that envy, or that frustration, that anger, that fear, that worry.
Or that sympathy if you feel they're doing worse or something.
So you're feeling an emotion that lets you know that you're not up to speed with your desire. So the more you focus with more detail into the experience, the worse you're going to feel, because the momentum is going to take you into a faster and faster vibration that is in opposition to who you really are and what you want. So if you stop and say, well, I'm just going to go general about this. I'm going to get off the specifics. So you say something like, I don't really know all of the details of this. I don't really know what came before this. I don't really have access to all of that. I think that we all have a basis of well-being and that we are all making our way to it. When you reach for a thought and find one that feels better to you, now the next thought that feels better will be accessible to you, and the next and the next. And really, the truth of it is, wherever you stand, no matter where you are on the emotional scale, with feeling really good being at one end and feeling really bad being at the other, wherever you are positioned, it doesn't matter if you are in despair, or if you are in frustration, or if you are in exhilaration. It doesn't matter where you are on this emotional scale. There is always room for you to move in one direction or the other. You can feel a little worse with the next thought you choose, or you can feel a little better with the next thought that you choose. Most people don't deliberately choose. Most people are not choosing the thought based upon their caring about where they are on the emotional scale. Most people are giving no consideration to their relationship with their vortex. Most people are not making any effort at all to create a grid or a point of attraction that will allow in for them the things that they've been asking for. Most people are just observing whatever it is that they are observing, and you are rather magnificently objective about it, weighing the pros and the cons and the pluses and the minuses. But the result of that is you practice vibrations that are all over the place, so you live life experiences that are all over the place, and then you don't feel that you have any real creative control over your experience because you're not exercising control over the direction of your thought. But you could if you knew a handful of things. I do create my own reality. I am a vibrational being. I do live in a vibrational universe. The source within me is in a very high-flying vibration. Everything that I've asked for is spinning there in my vortex. The source within me has already become it. I can realize it and actualize it too, but I've got to find a way to stop doing that thing I do that's preventing me from the high vibration. What's that thing? How do I know when I'm doing it? Well, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter when or where it is or who you're doing it with, but the thing that is always consistent is that when you're doing it, you feel less good than when you're not doing it. So, I don't feel so good. What does that mean? That means I have a serious disagreement with the source within me. I hate that guy. I hate that guy, and he deserves to be hated. Someday I'm going to write a book about all the reasons that I hate that guy. But the reason that I feel that hatred or that discomfort or that fear or that anger or whatever you want to call that discord is because the source within me does not hate that guy. Surely you haven't heard everything that you need to hear, source. I'll be glad to fill you in so that you don't make a fool of yourself and love him anyway. But when you realize that every discord that you feel is about a vibrational variance, and that you have control over closing that gap, widening it or closing it, then you begin to get a hold of your vibration, and you begin practicing it into better and better feeling places. And then law of attraction gives you better and better results to your better and better vibration, until you're moving on the emotional scale from feeling really wonderful to feeling content, but you're not dipping into those other emotions so much of the time, you see.